Okay, gymnastics moms, you know when the best time to start setting your gymnast up for a successful season next season is? It's right now. Let me tell you why. You are in Mindset for Moms, where we help gymnastics moms develop healthy, happy gymnasts who know how to win. So in the month of May, we're kind of in a crazy time. For a lot of you, you might still be in season. And for the rest of you, you just finished and you're like, let me catch a breath. I get it. Gymnastics is a year-round sport. And sometimes it feels like that exhaustion of always going can really be a lot. And sometimes you just want to take a break right now. But the best time for your gymnast to look back and evaluate last season, to leave behind what she doesn't need to take with her, to learn from last season, and to set goals for the next season is right now when it's all still really fresh. A lot of times we kind of take a break for a month or so, not necessarily in gymnastics, but mentally, and then we start thinking about next season. The hard part with that is it's not very fresh anymore. And some of those stories that she's been telling herself have had a lot of time to start cementing, and they're not going to be helpful. So in the month of May, we help you set your gymnast up for a successful season. And the first 2 weeks, we look backward, and the last 3 weeks, we look ahead. So today, this week, we're going to do the first part of looking backward. What happened last season? So this is a great time for your gymnast to evaluate. A lot of times our brains don't like to evaluate because we're only going to look at the negative things. We don't want to do that. We want to look at what went well. What was great about last season? What did she learn? What is she proud of? What does she want to celebrate? This is such an important thing to do, really after every single meet to evaluate, but for sure at the end of the season to really evaluate what went well. What didn't go as well as she wanted? What is she proud of? What did she learn? What were some of the highlights? What were some of the lowlights? Really just kind of taking stock from January on, but even before that. Okay, so, if something didn't go as well as she wanted, why not? When did that start? Maybe she didn't have some skills that she needed, and that caused the season to be stressful. And so that actually started way back last summer. And what didn't go well then in getting the skills? Maybe she got injured. Some injuries are just kind of freak things that happen, but a lot of gymnastics injuries come from nutrition issues. Gymnasts are very regularly, I think 95% of gymnasts are underfueled, and they don't have the vitamins they need. A lot of times they're low on vitamin D, on iron, and that can cause or allow leg injuries and wrist injuries, those things to be happening. So maybe we need to take a look at nutrition. What didn't set her up for success last summer? What didn't set her up for success last fall? What didn't set her up for success at the beginning of the meet season, towards the end of meet season? What were the things that got in the way of her goals? What prevented her from reaching them? And then what went really well? What worked last summer to really help set her up for a successful season? What worked last fall? What worked at the beginning? What worked at the end? The more that she can really dive in and figure this out, then she's going to be able to learn from that and take that forward. Okay, the things that didn't go well, what can we do differently this year? And the things that went really well, how can we build on that success and do more and more and more of it? Now, a lot of what we see is gymnasts that either struggled in 3 different ways. So let's talk about each scenario. One of the scenarios is struggle getting the skills that she needed to compete. And a lot of times that was her brain working against her, telling her she was in danger, that she couldn't overcome, and so she didn't get the skills she needed in the first place. And she still, competed that level. Maybe it was just one skill, but it just caused a lot of stress and frustration. The second scenario, she got all the skills and then it got close to competition and she started losing them. Or she would have them in practice but couldn't hit them in competition. And that was her brain working against her in the competitive environment. That was her brain being really afraid of what other people thought, of not being successful enough, of not having what it takes, not being good enough. And then the third level is gymnasts who they did well, they got all their skills, but maybe you're like, I was talking to a gymnast the other day who's, going for D1 and she feels pretty confident she'll get a D1 scholarship offer. But it's not just about being able to get the recruitment, it's about being able to show up as a competitor that her future team can count on. Stable consistently, gets her big skills, believes in herself, and doesn't experience tons of stress and pressure around meet season, around practice. Is able to really manage her brain and manage those emotions along the way. We have a lot of gymnasts who, are that type A kind of personality, and they're really good at getting what they need to do, but the experience is really full of stress and anxiety. And so whatever the thing that might have been getting in her way from her doing as well as she wanted, this is the time to figure out, take stock of what those things are. So that's what we have for this week. We're going to move on next week with then, okay, now that we've taken stock, what do we do with that? All right, see you next week in Mindset for Mom.
Thanks for tuning in. We are committed to your gymnast success. And we know that your gymnast success starts with you. So we are committed to helping you understand what your gymnast needs to succeed in one of the toughest sports in the world. If you're like most parents we talk to, you want your gymnast to do her best, to stand on the podium, to get to the next level, to get that scholarship. You know she can do it, and you're willing to do whatever it takes to give her all she needs to make that happen. But for you, it's not just about new skills, high scores, and scholarships. What you really want more than anything else is for your daughter to believe in herself as much as you believe in her. And we have created a special training to help you do just that, to give you the missing key you need to help your gymnast unlock her full potential and finally believe in herself so she can compete with confidence, so she can get the skills that she needs, so she can get the skills and the scores that she needs to either get to the next level or to get recruited. So join us in this free training. The instructions are below. You just sign up. It's a quick training. We will make it so valuable for you. We can't wait to see you on the inside so we can help you help your gymnast unlock her full potential.